Welcome to this module on embracing a change mindset. Today, we're shifting our focus from uncovering the roots of procrastination to actively resetting your thinking. We'll learn how to welcome change and build a self-discipline that transforms small, consistent actions into lasting progress. Imagine you're standing at the base of a mountain shrouded in mist. At first, the peak seems unattainable because the path isn't clear. But with each step, the fog begins to lift, revealing landmarks and a trail that you can follow. In time, you realize that climbing the mountain wasn't about making one giant leap. It was about taking many small, intentional steps. Embracing a change mindset works the same way. Each small, positive thought and action gradually builds a new path toward success. Why this matters? When our mindset is resistant to change, even the smallest hurdles feel overwhelming. Studies and real-world examples show that individuals who adopt a growth mindset, an approach championed by Carol Dweck in her book Mindset, are more resilient and open to learning from failure. A fixed mindset can trap you in habitual patterns of avoidance and self-doubt, while a growth-oriented mindset empowers you to see every setback as an opportunity to learn. Resistance to change often keeps you stuck. A change mindset fosters resilience and creativity. It transforms challenges into learning experiences, paving the way for lasting self-discipline. What you'll gain today: by the end of this module, you will be able to recognize when your current thinking is holding you back, apply strategies to reframe negative thoughts and welcome change, implement small, consistent changes that build self-discipline and transform your habits. Connect these new approaches with your 1-minute action practices for even quicker wins. Uncovering the roadblocks. Often, you might find that old beliefs, like "I'm not good enough" or "I can't change," create invisible barriers to progress. These beliefs are remnants of past failures or fears, and they trick your mind into clinging to familiar patterns rather than risking the unknown. James Clear, in Atomic Habits, argues that our environment and mindset can either support or sabotage our goals. By understanding that every successful habit starts with a change in perception, you can dismantle these barriers one thought at a time. The Change Mindset Framework. Let's explore a structured approach to shifting your mindset. 1. Acknowledge your fixed beliefs. Reflect. Take a moment to think about times when you resisted change. Note the recurring negative statements in your head. Identify. Write down these beliefs. Are they based on past experiences or unfounded assumptions? 2. Reframe your thoughts. Challenge. For each negative belief, ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Look for evidence that contradicts your fixed view. Replace. Develop a growth-focused alternative. For instance, change "I always fail" to "I learn from every setback." 3. Embrace small, consistent actions. 1-minute practices. Remember the 1-minute action approach we discussed earlier? Use it here. Commit 1 minute to greet change, whether it's starting a difficult task or trying a new strategy. Track progress. Small wins add up. Every minute counts in building a mindset that welcomes change. 4. Cultivate a supportive environment. Seek inspiration. Surround yourself with books, podcasts, or communities that encourage growth. Carol Dweck's ideas and insights from James Clear have helped many see that transformation starts inside. Visual cues. Place reminders in your workspace, quotes or images that represent growth, to nudge you toward a more positive mindset. Look at the steps below. Start with mindset. Your thoughts shape your transformation. Use visual cues and journaling to break resistance. Simple 1-minute actions build consistency and progress daily. This process is rooted in the idea that transformation doesn't require radical action. It's the accumulation of these tiny shifts in thinking and behavior that create big change. Pro tools and hacks for a change mindset. Here are a few tools and hacks to support you. Gratitude journals. Apps like Day One and Journey not only help track daily wins, but also encourage you to focus on positive changes. Mindfulness apps. Tools such as Headspace or Calm can keep you centered, making it easier to notice and reframe negative thoughts when they arise. Visual inspiration. Create a vision board using platforms like Pinterest or even a physical board. Use images and quotes that represent your vision for growth and change. Quick wins you can try today. Mindset. Reset. Take 2 minutes to list one fixed belief you hold and immediately reframe it into a growth positive statement. 1 minute challenge. When you feel resistant to change, set a timer for 1 minute and force yourself to do something new, even if it's as simple as rearranging your workspace. Positive reminder. Write down a quote that supports growth. For example, every change is an opportunity, and keep it visible on your desk. Your turn. Embrace and act. Reflect. Identify one situation where you felt stuck due to a fixed mindset. Use the 5 whys from previous modules to dig into the belief behind that feeling. Reframe. Write down a more empowering alternative for that belief. Act. Commit to one 1-minute action tomorrow that challenges or opposes that old belief. Journal the experience and note any differences in how you feel. Wrapping up, today, you've learned that embracing a change mindset is all about shifting small parts of your thought process. The insights of Carol Dweck and James Clear show us that successful habits are built gradually with small, consistent actions. As you continue practicing these techniques, you'll find that the fears and doubts that once held you back start to fade, replaced by a belief in your ability to adapt and grow. Next, we'll explore visualizing future success, where you'll learn powerful visualization techniques to reinforce the benefits of your new mindset and set the stage for a more productive life. Keep challenging your thoughts and welcoming change. Each minute matters, and your future self will thank you for it. Happy transforming. Welcome to this module on visualizing future success. Today, we're going to explore powerful visualization techniques that transform your mindset and build unwavering confidence. In this session, you'll learn how to picture your success clearly and use that mental image as a driving force against procrastination. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, misty valley. At first, the destination seems like a distant dream, barely visible behind the haze. But as you concentrate on the vision, a lush garden bursting with color and life, the fog begins to clear. Every minute of focused imagination brings the landscape into sharper relief, inspiring you to take steps toward that garden. In the same way, by vividly visualizing your future success, you create a mental image that guides and motivates you to replace hesitation with action. Why this matters? When procrastination holds you back, your future becomes a blurry vision full of uncertainties. Research shows that a clearly defined vision of success significantly boosts the likelihood of achieving goals and sustaining motivation. Visualization techniques help reinforce your self-discipline by creating a mental blueprint that your actions can follow. When you see your goals with clarity, each small 1-minute action practice contributes to molding that image into reality. Unclear visions can weaken your resolve and magnify hesitation. Detailed mental images trigger a sense of purpose and prepare your brain for success. Visualization is a tool that transforms abstract goals into a tangible destination. What you'll gain today: by the end of this module, you will be able to develop clear and compelling mental images of what success looks like for you. Use visualization to reprogram your brain for proactive behavior. Connect these mental models with your daily 1-minute actions to reinforce self-discipline. Gain confidence and momentum, which will make taking the next step feel natural. The hidden challenge. A common misunderstanding in the journey towards self-discipline is focusing solely on the actions without nurturing the inner vision. Often, procrastination stems from a disconnect between what you do and the benefits you expect. Without a vivid mental picture of success, your 1-minute actions can feel like mere tasks rather than steps toward a rewarding goal. This gap between action and reward weakens motivation and can leave you feeling stuck despite your best efforts. The visualization framework. Several experts and methodologies underscore the power of visualization. Maxwell Maltz, in his groundbreaking book, Psycho-Cybernetics, explains that our self-image serves as the blueprint for all our actions. A strong and clear self-image propels us toward excellence. Similarly, Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich emphasizes that a burning desire combined with visualization sets the stage for success. By applying these ideas, you can turn simple mental exercises into a catalyst for lasting change. Key elements of effective visualization. Clarity. Your vision must be detailed and precise. Rather than a vague idea of getting ahead, focus on specific images. Picture the environment, the people you interact with, the tasks you're performing, and even the emotions you feel. Consistency. Visualization works best when practiced regularly. Even a short daily session can reinforce your goals. Emotion. Infuse your visualizations with positive emotions. The stronger the emotion attached to the image, the more powerful its impact on your brain. Integration. Link your mental images with your small, everyday actions. A clear vision makes it easier to make decisions that align with your long-term goals. The step-by-step model. 1. Set your goal. Choose a specific goal or outcome that you have been striving for. Be as precise as possible about what success looks like. 2. Create a detailed image. Spend a few minutes forming a detailed mental picture. Consider all sensory details, the sights, sounds, and feelings involved. 3. Use emotions to animate. Reflect on the positive emotions associated with your success. How will you feel? Energized, proud, accomplished? 4. Integrate with 1-minute actions. Link your visualization to your daily routine. Each time you practice a 1-minute action, recall your vivid image of success. The idea is to gradually transform your abstract goals into something that feels real and achievable. As you integrate these techniques, you create a continuous feedback loop. Your actions reinforce your vision, and your vision motivates further action. Visualize your success, step by step. Choose one clear goal to aim for. Imagine it daily with emotion and detail. Tie small actions to your big vision. Every minute counts towards Success Pro tools and hacks for visualization to enhance this practice. Consider these tools and techniques. Guided visualization apps. Platforms like Insight Timer and Calm offer guided sessions that help you focus on your goals. These apps can provide structure and consistency. Vision boards. Create a digital or physical vision board with images, quotes, and other reminders of your desired future. Tools like Pinterest or Canva make this process creative and enjoyable. Mindfulness and meditation. Meditation apps such as Headspace can help calm the mind and prepare it for focused visualization sessions. Journal prompts. Use reflective writing prompts to capture what your success looks like. Apps like Day One can be excellent for this purpose. Quick wins to try today. Minute of clarity. Set aside 1 minute today to close your eyes and vividly imagine a moment of success. Focus on the details and the emotions it evokes. Capture a vision. Write down one clear, specific goal and create a quick sketch or a list of keywords that describe your future success. Daily affirmation. Choose one positive statement about your future and repeat it during your 1-minute actions. For example, every minute brings me closer to my success. Your turn to act. Reflect. Think about a goal you have been postponing. What does success in that area look like in detail? Visualize. Set a timer for 1 minute and immerse yourself in that vision. Picture every detail, what you see, hear, and feel. Journal. Write down your experience and the emotions you felt during the visualization. Identify one tiny action you can take right now that aligns with this vision. Commit. For the next week, incorporate a daily 1-minute visualization session into your routine. Note any changes in your motivation and progress. Wrapping up, today, you've learned that visualizing future success isn't just daydreaming. It's a strategic tool that transforms abstract goals into a tangible blueprint for achievement. The insights of experts like Maxwell Maltz and Napoleon Hill remind us that a clear self-image and emotional connection to our goals drive our actions. By integrating these visualization techniques with your 1-minute practices, you start building a mental environment where success is inevitable. As you move forward, keep reinforcing your vision with every small action you take. Your mind is a powerful tool, and with clear, consistent visualization, you are setting the stage for a proactive, confident, and productive life. Happy visualizing! Welcome to this module on habit microactions. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to harness simple 60-second activities to break procrastination and start reshaping your habits for solid self-discipline. Let's dive in and discover how tiny bursts of action can pave the way for monumental change. A short parable imagine an expansive garden that had long been overrun by weeds. Every day, the caretaker would spend just 1 minute plucking a single weed. Though the task seemed insignificant, over time, that steady effort transformed the chaotic plot into a vibrant garden. In each 1-minute session, a seed of change was planted, growing into a habit that reshaped the entire space. Without realizing it, these micro-actions became the turning point between stagnation and flourishing growth. Why this matters? Procrastination can feel like a heavy fog in your daily routine, obscuring your ability to get started and maintain progress. Many of us struggle with starting big tasks because they seem overwhelming. The truth is, conventional methods of tackling large projects head-on often lead to hesitation and burnout. By shifting focus to micro-actions, you bypass the mental resistance that procrastination feeds on. Research from experts like BJ Fogg, who champions the concept of tiny habits, shows that starting small builds momentum. These 60-second actions are not just tasks, they're reliable triggers for transformative habits. What you'll gain? By the end of this module, you'll walk away with a clear method for integrating micro-actions into your daily routine. You'll see how these one-minute actions can chip away at procrastination, fostering steady, lasting self-discipline. This simple yet powerful strategy is designed to give you practical, actionable steps to make gradual but big changes in your life. Understanding the problem. Many of us have attempted to overhaul our habits using grand, sweeping changes. We set lofty goals that, while inspiring, soon become too daunting. Traditional self-improvement methods often assume that major change must begin with major shifts in behavior, which can lead to self-doubt and inaction. This all-or-nothing mindset can be paralyzing. Instead of being destructive, procrastination builds up over time, feeding on the belief that you need to do more all at once. Recognizing this is the first step toward embracing micro-actions. By breaking down a habit into 60-second tasks, you reduce fear, minimize resistance, and build a foundation for long-term change. The micro-actions framework. This framework is about transforming how you approach your habits while keeping your self-discipline intact. It hinges on the idea that small actions are the building blocks of change. Here's a deeper look at its components. Start small. Begin with an action that takes just 60 seconds. This is less than the time it takes to brew your morning coffee, yet it's enough to create a trigger. Consistency over intensity. It's not about doing a lot. It's about doing a little every day. Consistent practice reinforces neural pathways, much like how repetitive exercises build muscle memory. Track progress. Simple tracking can reinforce success. Consider using a journal or an app to note once-a-day micro-actions. It's a practical way to celebrate progress. Incremental build-up. Once you master the one-minute routine, you can gradually extend or add more micro-actions. The key here is that every tiny win builds the confidence to take on slightly larger tasks. This approach is supported by the insights from James Clear's Atomic Habits, which tells us that tiny changes accumulate into remarkable results over time. Similarly, research on the habit loop from Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit shows that identifying and reinforcing small cues can trigger whole sequences of productive behavior. These expert insights demonstrate that micro-actions are not just a motivational trick, but a reliable system based on how our brains work. How to implement the micro-actions strategy. Here's a step-by-step guide to integrating micro-actions into your routine. 1. Identify a trigger. Think of a task you've been putting off. Break it down into a one-minute version. For example, if you need to read a book, commit to reading one page or even just one paragraph for 60 seconds. 2. Prepare mentally. Set aside any notions that it has to be a grand change. Embrace the fact that small, consistent actions are powerful. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. 3. Set a timer. Use your phone's timer or a kitchen timer to mark exactly 60 seconds. The fixed time frame helps create a micro-commitment that's easy to honor. 4. Do the action. When the timer starts, focus completely on that small task. Whether it's a brief tidy-up, a quick jot of notes, or a minute of planning, commit fully. 5. Reflect and record. After your minute is up, take a couple of seconds to note how you felt and any small wins you achieved. Use a simple checklist or habit tracking app for accountability. 6. Repeat daily. Consistency is crucial. Each day, pick a moment to perform your one-minute micro-action. Over time, you'll see a change not in the task itself, but in your overall approach to challenges. Look at the chart below. It breaks down how to build momentum with micro-actions, just 60 seconds a day. Step 1. Identify a small task you want to tackle, something that's been holding you back. Step 2. Set a positive mindset. Remember, small wins count. Step 3. Use a timer, just 1 minute. Step 4. Focus and complete the action fully. Step 5. Afterward, reflect and write down what you accomplished. Step 6. Repeat daily. That consistency builds serious momentum. White heavy check mark, it's not about doing more. It's about doing one thing, with full focus every day. Pro tools and additional hacks to make integrating microactions even easier. Here are a few tools and tactics. Digital timers and apps. While a basic timer works, apps like Focus Booster or Forest can add a fun dimension to your microaction routine. They help keep you accountable and visually track your progress. Visual reminders. Use sticky notes or a digital calendar reminder. Place them where you can't miss them, a desktop, fridge, or a bathroom mirror. Habit pairing. Link your microaction to an already established habit. For example, after you brush your teeth in the morning, immediately spend 60 seconds on your chosen task. This habit stacking strategy leverages your current routine to build new, positive behaviors. Quick wins for today. You can start reaping small rewards immediately. Choose one task that's been looming on your to-do list, a task so small it can be done in 60 seconds. Perform it with full focus and note how a little action lifts even a big weight off your shoulders. This immediate win acts as the spark that propels you toward bigger victories. Time to take action. Now it's your turn. Decide on a 1-minute microaction you can commit to today. Follow these steps. Write down the task. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Perform the action immediately with undivided attention. Reflect on the accomplishment and jot down your experience, however brief. This exercise is your first stepping stone toward long-term self-discipline and habit transformation. Looking ahead in our next module, Science Behind 1-Minute Changes, we'll dive deeper into the research and neurological principles that make these tiny actions so effective. We'll explore how consistent, quick changes physically rewire your brain for productivity using insights from behavioral science. It's an exciting journey ahead where theory meets practical application for real results. By embracing microactions, you're setting yourself up for continuous growth. Remember, even the smallest effort can become the catalyst for substantial change. Let's keep moving forward, 1 minute at a time. Welcome to this module on the science behind 1-minute changes. Today, you'll explore how brief, consistent 60-second actions trigger rapid habit formation and even rewire your brain for better productivity. Let's uncover the research and theories that make these tiny bursts of change so transformative. A story of tiny ripples. Imagine standing by a quiet pond at dusk. You pick up a small pebble and drop it into the water. At first, the splash seems insignificant, but soon, concentric ripples spread out, gradually touching every corner of the pond. Over time, each ripple connects to form a pattern that reshapes the shoreline. Without the dramatic splash you might expect, that one small act set a process in motion that transformed an entire landscape. This simple moment reminds us that powerful change doesn't always begin with grand gestures. It often starts with a small, focused effort that builds momentum over time. Why the science matters. Many of us have tried to overhaul habits by committing to long, arduous tasks. Research shows that our brains often resist big changes because they trigger feelings of overwhelm and anxiety. Experts like B.J. Fogg, in his work on tiny habits, explain that when you reduce the size of a task to something as small as 1 minute, your brain finds it easier to get started. This reduction in friction is critical in overcoming procrastination. Instead of facing a mountain of work, you're now initiating a simple, manageable process. Understanding how even the smallest actions can lead to lasting change is vital if you want to build robust self-discipline. In our previous module, we touched on microactions as a way to break procrastination. Now, let's take a closer look at the science that makes these microactions so effective. What you will learn by the end of this module, you'll have a solid grasp of how a 60-second action can set off a chain reaction of habit formation. The brain science, including neural rewiring and reward systems behind microactions. How established models from experts like James Clear and B.J. Fogg provide a framework for lasting change. Practical ways to apply this scientific knowledge to enhance your everyday productivity and self-discipline. The challenge of traditional change often, we believe that a significant transformation requires hours of effort or a complete overhaul of our routine. This idea not only creates a barrier to getting started, but also sets us up for discouragement when immediate results don't follow. Scientific studies on neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, reveal that it's not the length of time, but the consistency and quality of the action that matters. Long sessions may exhaust you, while short, purposeful bursts can stimulate dopamine, reinforcing the behavior even if it lasts only 1 minute. When you commit to something as small as a 1-minute habit, you sidestep the common pitfalls of overwhelm and burnout that have likely tripped you up before. Instead, you're initiating a process that builds gradually and naturally reinforces itself. The science behind microactions, the neuroplasticity principle our brains are incredibly adaptive. Research in neuroplasticity shows that repeated, small actions can create entirely new neural pathways. When you repeat a 1-minute task consistently, your brain forms a new connection that eventually overrides the old, less productive habits. Think of it as gently carving a groove into a piece of wood. The more you repeat the motion, the deeper and more defined the groove becomes. The role of dopamine and reward cycles. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in our motivation and reward system. Every time you complete a task, even one that takes only 60 seconds, your brain releases a burst of dopamine. This rewarding feeling encourages you to repeat the action. According to studies discussed in James Clear's Atomic Habits, these small wins compound over time, gradually shifting your mindset from procrastination to achievement. It's these tiny rewards that help establish a consistent behavior loop, making the habit stick. Cue, routine, reward. The habit loop. Charles Duhigg's research in The Power of Habit introduces the habit loop, which consists of a cue, routine, and reward. With microactions, the cue might be the alarm on your phone or the end of a particular activity. The routine is your 1-minute action, and the reward is the instant satisfaction and the gradual sense of accomplishment you build over time. This loop is essential in cementing habits. By keeping the routine short and manageable, you reinforce the desired behavior without overwhelming your mind. Tiny behaviors, big impact. B.J. Fogg's work emphasizes that starting small isn't about minimizing the importance of the task. It's about removing the mental barriers to getting started. When you break down a habit into a 60-second activity, you create an opportunity for success. That success, however small it may seem, is the glucose for your brain's motivation circuit. Over time, these microactions lead to significant behavioral shifts that support long-term self-discipline and productivity. Applying the science, a practical framework lets transform these scientific concepts into a practical framework you can use daily. Identify a simple task. Choose an action you've been postponing. Examples include jotting down one idea, reading one paragraph, or organizing just a small area of your desk. Set a timer for 60 seconds. The fixed time prevents overthinking and forces you to focus on the immediate action. This approach is backed by research that shows time constraints can boost performance by reducing decision fatigue. Establish a clear cue. A cue could be something already existing in your daily routine. After your morning coffee, for instance, set a 60-second timer to review your goals. The cue serves as a reminder, linking this small habit with your established schedule. Acknowledge the reward. After completing your microaction, take a moment to appreciate the effort. This can be as simple as a brief mental note of success or a checkmark in your habit tracking app. Recognizing this reward reinforces the behavior through the release of dopamine. Look at the chart below. It explains the science behind 1-minute habits. Cue. Link your new habit to something you already do daily, like brushing your teeth or making coffee. This triggers the habit automatically. Routine. Spend just 60 seconds on a focused task. That short burst of effort sets off a dopamine reward cycle in your brain. Reward. Don't skip this. Take a moment to acknowledge your success. Even a small mental yes or checking off a tracker reinforces the habit through pleasure. This simple loop, cue, routine, reward, rewires your brain with consistency. That's the science. That's the power of just 60 seconds a day. Tools and tactics to enhance the process to make these scientific strategies even more accessible. Consider these additional tips. Habit tracking apps. Use apps like Habitable or Streaks, which specifically focus on small daily wins. They offer visual feedback that reinforces your progress. Mindfulness reminders. Simple mindfulness apps, such as Headspace or Calm, can guide you to focus on the present moment as you perform your microaction. This focus is key to ensuring that your 60 seconds are both productive and stress-free. Smart timers. Explore digital timers that come with integration features, like syncing with your calendar, to remind you of your daily 1-minute tasks. This integration keeps the habit consistent without adding extra stress to your routine. Quick wins you can implement today. Right now, set aside 60 seconds to do one simple task you've been avoiding. Whether it's answering a quick email, tidying up your workspace, or even just setting your intentions for the day, complete that action with full focus. Recognize this immediate win as the foundation on which lasting change is built. These quick wins are the stepping stones to a more disciplined and productive you. Your turn to act. Now it's time to put the science into action. Pick one task that feels small enough to complete in 60 seconds. Set your timer and watch how the minute passes as you focus solely on the task. After your minute ends, jot down a quick note on how this small effort made you feel. Repeat this process daily and observe how these micro-actions start to reshape your habit landscape. By engaging in these practices consistently, you're not only applying the scientific principles of neuroplasticity and the habit loop, but you're also reinforcing your commitment to a life of self-discipline and productivity. Looking ahead next, we'll dive into the 3-step process of habit hacking. This upcoming module will break down the distinct phases that further solidify these micro-action habits and trigger immediate, impactful change. It's designed to build on what you've learned today and take it a step further by providing you with a clear, actionable strategy. Remember, each 60-second action acts like a tiny ripple in your life. It might seem small, but with time, these ripples will expand, transforming your habits into lasting, positive changes. Let's continue this journey of scientific discovery and practical action, 1 minute at a time. Welcome to this module on the 3-step process. Today, we're going to break down a habit hacking method that turns your small, 1-minute actions into a powerful system for overcoming procrastination and fostering lasting self-discipline. Let's step into this process together. A tale of 3 bridges. Imagine you must cross a wide river, and the only way to reach the other side is by building 3 small bridges. The first bridge is simple but crucial. It gives you a foothold, a starting point over the turbulent water. The second bridge, built quickly but steadily, reinforces your progress. The third bridge completes the crossing, linking your efforts into a seamless path. Each bridge alone might seem insignificant, but together they create a continuous route, making the impossible passage achievable. This journey teaches you that breaking one big task into 3 clear, manageable steps can transform how you overcome obstacles. Why this process matters. Every day, you face projects and tasks that can seem overwhelming. Traditional to-do lists often fail to provide structure when procrastination creeps in. The 3-step process is designed to give you clarity and immediate momentum. Experts like James Clear in Atomic Habits and BJ Fogg in Tiny Habits show that clear, structured steps are key for habit formation by reducing the mental barrier to starting. Rather than falling back on vague intentions or erratic energy, this process offers you a reliable map for success. What you'll gain from this module by the end of this module, you'll be able to understand and implement a clear 3-step method for building new habits. Recognize the role of each step in triggering immediate action. Apply a structured approach that helps you conquer procrastination through sustained, 1-minute micro-actions. Connect this process with the scientific principles and micro-action strategies you learned in previous modules. What's lacking in traditional approaches? Most common methods for change expect you to overhaul your entire routine at once, which can lead to burnout or discouragement. Without a clear structure, the small wins may slip through the cracks and turn into frustration. The absence of a defined process means that even when you take small steps, they can feel disjointed and insufficient. This is where the 3-step process comes into play, organizing actions into distinct phases that build on one another and reinforce your self-discipline steadily. The 3-step process framework. The heart of this method lies in dividing your habit-building journey into 3 clear stages. Step 1, cue recognition. What it means: identify the moment or signal that prompts a habit. This cue could be tied to time, emotion, or an existing routine. Scientific insight. Neuroscientists explain that cues set off a chain reaction in the brain that prepares us to act. This is closely related to the habit loop described by Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit. Real-world connection. Imagine you're waiting for your morning coffee. That coffee ritual is the cue. Instead of letting the moment slip by, you use it as a reminder to start a 1-minute micro-action, maybe jotting down a daily goal. Step 2, immediate micro-action. What it means: Execute a focused, 1-minute task. This is the core action where you actively engage in a behavior that contributes to your larger goal. Scientific insight. According to B.J. Fogg's research, when the task is small, your brain perceives it as highly manageable. This reduction in friction makes it easier to get started and less likely to trigger procrastination. Real-world connection. Picture yourself setting a timer on your phone and spending exactly 60 seconds tidying up your workspace or writing a quick note. This brief burst of activity is powerful because it's designed to be easy to start and complete, reinforcing your momentum. Step 3. Reflection and reward. What it means. Take a moment to acknowledge what you've accomplished. Reflect briefly on the action and reward yourself mentally or with a small tangible note. Scientific insight. This step taps into the brain's reward system, triggering dopamine release, which is essential for habit reinforcement. James Clear emphasizes that celebrating small wins is critical to building lasting habits. Real-world connection. After your 1-minute action, notice the sense of completion. Maybe you mark it off in your habit tracker or simply smile, knowing you've successfully taken a step forward. Look at the chart below. Here's how the 3-step microaction process works. 1. Cue recognition. First, spot your trigger. This could be something simple, like finishing your coffee. That cue sets the stage and mentally prepares you for action. 2. Immediate microaction. Next, act fast. Spend 60 seconds doing something productive, like tidying your desk or jotting down a quick plan. The short time frame lowers the barrier to getting started. 3. Reflection and amp. Reward. Finally, celebrate the win. Check it off your habit tracker or just give yourself a silent yes. That tiny moment of reward locks in the habit through dopamine. Repeat this loop daily, and it adds up to big transformation, 1 minute at a time. How to execute the 3-step process. Here's a step-by-step guide to applying the framework in your everyday routine. 1. Pinpoint a daily cue. Reflect on your everyday activities and identify a moment you already repeat daily, e.g., finishing breakfast. Choose that moment as your cue to trigger your microaction. 2. Commit to a 60-second task. Decide on a small, specific task that aligns with your larger goal. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Focus exclusively on the action, ensuring you aren't distracted by other tasks. 3. Reflect immediately. As soon as the timer goes off, take a moment to note down or mentally acknowledge your progress. Consider keeping a simple journal or using an app to track these microactions, reinforcing the habit loop. By consistently following these steps, you train your brain to recognize triggers, perform the desired action swiftly, and then celebrate the success, creating a reinforcing pattern that gradually transforms your behavior. Pro Tools and AMP. Hacks for enhancing the process. Here are some additional tools and ideas to make the 3-step process even more effective. Dedicated habit apps. Use apps like Momentum or Streaks that are designed for quick habit tracking. They visually reward you for each successful microaction. Automated reminders. Set digital reminders on your phone or computer to serve as cues throughout your day. This helps ensure you remember to carry out your 1-minute actions. Microjournaling. Instead of extensive note-taking, use a simple microjournal where you jot a single word or emoji to capture your win. This approach minimizes friction and keeps the focus on action. Quick wins to build momentum start today by choosing one specific moment within your day that you can transform into a cue. Example, right after lunch, take a 60-second break to write down one thing that you're grateful for or one small goal for the afternoon. Immediate benefit. That brief pause not only boosts your mood, but also reinforces a routine that can be expanded over time. Your turn to implement the process. Now it's time for you to put the 3-step process into practice. Identify your cue. Think about when you naturally pause during your day. It might be after checking your email or as soon as you sit down with your morning beverage. Execute a microaction. Set your timer for 60 seconds and complete a simple task like organizing a small part of your workspace or writing a quick to-do list. Reflect briefly. Write after you finish. Note one immediate positive outcome of your action. This could be as simple as a mental good job or a quick check in your habit tracker. Taking these small, structured steps will gradually build your self-discipline and help you overcome procrastination, linking back to the core ideas we've been developing throughout our journey. Looking ahead. Next, we'll continue building on this foundation by translating theory into practice. Our upcoming module, Practical application of micro-actions. We'll cover how to apply these structured micro-actions to everyday tasks, ensuring you know not only why the process works, but exactly when and how to use it for maximum impact. Remember, each 60-second micro-action is a vital part of the greater journey toward habit transformation. Taking the time to recognize cues, act immediately, and reflect on your progress allows you to build a reliable structure for change, one step at a time. Enjoy the process and embrace the small wins that pave the way for lasting self-discipline. Welcome to this module on the practical application of micro-actions. Today, we'll focus on taking the theory behind 60-second actions and putting it into practice. You'll learn how to apply these small interventions to real-life tasks, positioning them to have maximum impact on your daily routines. A parable of the steady stream, imagine a mountain stream fed by countless tiny droplets. Alone, each droplet is nearly invisible, but together they sculpt entire valleys and carve out majestic canyons. One day, a traveler pauses by the stream, noticing how each drop, small yet persistent, contributes to a powerful force over time. Without a grand gesture, the stream transforms the landscape, one steady, deliberate trickle at a time. This is the essence of micro-actions. Each 60-second effort is a small droplet that, when combined, creates monumental change. The challenge we face. Every day, you encounter moments when tasks pile up and procrastination creeps in. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by large tasks or complex projects, leaving you stuck in a loop of delay. Many of us struggle to translate inspiring ideas into tangible actions because our approach is too grand or rigid. Instead, the secret to overcoming this trap lies in recognizing that even a brief, focused effort can break the cycle of procrastination and propel you forward. What you'll achieve today by the end of this module, you'll be equipped to transform everyday situations into opportunities for micro-actions. Identify the ideal moments for a 60-second intervention. Apply practical strategies to turn theory into consistent, productive routines. Enhance your self-discipline through focused, situational changes that compound over time. The hidden pitfall of inaction. Traditional methods often urge extensive time investments to make change, but they miss the key issue. Even the simplest action is powerful when done consistently. Instead of waiting to amass the perfect conditions, the failure lies in not seizing the moment. Your environment and schedule might be cluttered with distractions, making it hard to start something big. However, delaying action further deepens the habit of procrastination. The gap between intention and action is where micro-actions shine. They bridge that gap with immediate, attainable efforts. The practical strategy for micro-actions. Let's break down a practical strategy to incorporate micro-actions into your everyday tasks. We'll blend insights from experts like James Clear's Atomic Habits and BJ Fogg's Tiny Habits to create a robust action plan. Recognizing the right moment, situational cues. Look for natural pauses in your day. These might include waiting for your computer to load, a moment between meetings, or the lapse right after a phone call. Environmental triggers. Use everyday settings as signals. For example, when you enter a room, think of it as an opportunity to start a quick task, like clearing a clutter surface. Executing the 60-second action, define the task. Choose a simple, specific task that fits comfortably in 1 minute, e.g., sending a brief email, organizing your desk, or reviewing your next steps for a project. Use timers. Set a timer to lock in that 60-second effort. This focused burst prevents distractions and keeps the task manageable. Reflecting to reinforce progress. Immediate feedback. Once the timer sounds, take a moment to acknowledge your accomplishment. Even a mental note reinforces the habit. Document success. Maintain a simple log, be it a digital tracker or a paper note, to capture these micro-wins. This reinforces the reward cycle and builds long-term commitment. Look at the chart below. Here's how micro-actions become momentum. 1. Recognize the moment. Find small windows of opportunity, like finishing a call or waiting for coffee. These moments aren't wasted. They're launchpads for progress. 2. Execute the micro-action. Pick a quick task and do it. Just 60 seconds. That's enough to chip away at overwhelm and get things moving. 3. Reflect and amp. Log. Celebrate that win. Then jot it down in a notebook, tracker, or app. That feedback loop makes the action stick. Repeat this 3-step flow and you'll build habits that actually last, with less effort, more impact. The beauty of micro-actions lies in their adaptability. Here are situational strategies you can apply immediately. Work environment. When you face a looming email or report, spend 1 minute drafting bullet points rather than trying to complete the entire task in one go. Personal tasks. Instead of delaying a household chore, commit to 1 minute of tidying up a specific area. Notice how this short burst of effort can motivate you to extend the activity if needed. Learning and growth. Use a minute to review a challenging concept or write down a quick summary. This practice not only aids memory, but gradually builds your mastery of new skills. Tools and hacks to enhance your practice to make the micro-action method even more effective. Consider integrating these tools into your routine. Focus timer apps. Explore digital timers with minimal interfaces like seconds or Be Focused to ensure you stay on track during your 60-second sessions. Digital habit trackers. Leverage apps such as Habitica or Loop Habit Tracker to visualize your streaks and progress. These tools offer motivational visuals that celebrate each small win. Environment setup. Place visual reminders in key areas of your space, a sticky note on your monitor or a calendar alert that signal it's time for a micro-action. Quick wins to get started begin right away with a 60-second task that fits your current situation. Example, if you're waiting for coffee to brew, use that time to clear your desk or jot down one clear task for the day. Immediate reward. Recognize the small victory of acting, even briefly, and notice how it sets a positive tone for what follows. Your turn to take action. Here's your actionable plan for today. 1. Identify a cue. Reflect on your day and choose one natural pause that you can convert into a micro-action moment. 2. Define your 60-second task. Decide on one small, impactful task that fits within 1 minute. 3. Set the timer and act. Use your timer to enforce the 60-second rule and complete the task without distractions. 4. Reflect and record. As soon as you finish, take a brief moment to acknowledge your success and document it, even if it's just a mental note. Taking this step not only reinforces the science behind micro-actions, but also empowers you to overcome procrastination with immediate, manageable actions. Looking ahead next, we'll explore how to tailor the framework to your unique habits and challenges, ensuring that every micro-action fits seamlessly into your life. This upcoming module will focus on customization, allowing you to adapt these strategies for sustainable, personally effective success. Each micro-action is a building block, and today, you've learned how to place those blocks precisely where they yield the greatest result. Let's continue to build a path toward lasting self-discipline, 1 minute, one action at a time.